Yo, what up, body bags? Hope y'all enjoyed Christmas week. We did it a week earlier, so y'all can get our recommendations for Christmas or whatever. But now it's back to business as usual, so decided to review a movie called Scalps. Put out, I think, a year or two ago by Retro Media, which is, I'm pretty sure it's Fred Olin Ray's company, who the director of this and a lot of other low-budget movies from back in the day. But this was, I think, his second or third movie, and because he had done, I think it was The Alien Dead. He lived in Florida, and then he went up to Los Angeles and he made Scalps. And this is a really solid slasher movie if you're into like real low budget movies, because it's real low budget. Because essentially this movie, it's about these college kids. They're kind of like, they're trying to dig for like Indian artifacts and stuff. So they go out in the middle of the desert and they're basically just digging for Indian artifacts. And they kind of end up digging on the wrong Indian type burial ground thing, and it awakens the spirit of Black Claw. And he essentially possesses one of the kids, and he starts slowly turning into this Indian dude. And it's kind of like Cronenberg-esque a little bit, only because he doesn't stay looking like the college kid. Like, over time, he starts morphing into this Indian guy. And the effects are actually really solid, given how low budget it is. And he starts killing and scalping all the college kids and stuff that have desecrated his graveyard or grounds or whatever. And that's the storyline. It's pretty much that simple. Which goes into my main complaint, is the movie is pretty slow in the first hour, but it still has me entertained throughout of it, just solely based on the soundtrack. Like, it's these like droning noises and stuff, but it's really kind of eerie sounding, and it just brings like a really thick dread to the movie. And in the commentary, he said he wanted to make the movie as claustrophobic as possible, given like the desert setting and stuff. He said he brought inspiration from like John Carpenter's The Thing and stuff like that, where the music just kind of, there's just an impending dread throughout the whole thing, and you know something really bad's going to happen. And the last 20-25 minutes, all hell breaks loose, and he's scalping people, slitting throats. He even goes as far to rape one of the chicks, and then he rapes her, then scalps her. So it definitely does get a little brutal towards the end. It makes the first hour worth it, but just the soundtrack and stuff, and just the building tension and dread, makes the first hour worth it to sit through. The acting is pretty bad, not gonna lie, but it's an old movie, really low budget. This is even more low budget than like Full Moon and stuff, but it was made so long ago that it's filmed on actual film and stuff, so it gives it a pass. It's still, like I said, a thoroughly enjoyable slasher film, and that's what it is a slasher film. So if you're a big slasher fan, you definitely want this in your collection. Now, this was a limited edition of 2,000 copies, but I think they're still out there. I think you could still buy this on Amazon, and I had bought this year from Grindhouse Video, and I think this release is already like 2 years old. But I'll read the back of this real quick too for you. It says, "Relentlessly morbid is the best way to describe this gruesome tale of retribution from beyond the grave, deemed to be too intense for civilized audiences. The film has either been censored or outright banned in 99% of the world." It's not that bad. They kind of overhype it in that description. And now, one thing I do want to point out too with this movie is this is the full unrated cut, but the whole master's not there, so Fred Olin Ray had to use like a beta tape to insert the unrated segments, just kind of like the Blu-ray of Silent Night, Deadly Night. So you do see a really downtick in quality when the unrated scenes happen. But it is cool having it that way too, because you do see what was cut out and everything. So, it's just one of those things that you kind of got to deal with when watching this. But it's not that bad. And, you could buy this on DVD if you want. If the Blu-ray is sold out, the DVD is the way to go too, because realistically this transfer doesn't look amazing. It's a really dirty looking film. It's really gritty and stuff, so it's not like you have to have this on Blu-ray, although I'm sure this looks a lot better than the DVD. But I think this will always be a really messy, dirty film. But Yeah, that's Scalps. You could probably find it for like $15, and I definitely recommend it, especially if you're a slasher fan. I know 88 Films has their version of it. That may be the way to go. I don't know. I haven't seen that transfer. I would assume it's the same as this, but there's a lot of special features on this too. The audio commentary with Fred Olin Ray, which are always worth it. He gives amazing commentaries. Remembering Scalps, a 22-minute featurette with Fred Olin Ray and all them. The original theatrical trailer, and scenes from an unauthorized remake called Blood Desert. It's just one scene, and it's kind of a throwaway feature. And then Scalps 2, The Return of DJ, a fan film, to me is also another throwaway feature. It wasn't that enjoyable to me. It's like a short little film that's really shittily made. But yeah, that's Scalps. Definitely enjoyable. I had a lot more fun with it than I actually thought I was going to have. I don't know what I was thinking when I picked it up. I think just the cover looked cool or something, so I picked it up. But I remember upon like researching it before I watched it, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to dig this movie too much. But I had a really good time with it. So there's some really creepy images too that kind of pop up. Like The Exorcist has the demon face that pops up in random shots. There's like an creepy Indian like woman looking thing that kind of like flashes up at random times. So yeah, I definitely give this a full recommendation. Really solid movie. Soundtrack alone makes this movie worth it. But anyways guys, peace.